Hello there, vinyl community. Tony P coming at you from the game room. Sat around, think it's about time to do another video. Get up my courage to do this. Cold outside here in Western PA. We had summer for about 15 seconds. We're back to winter. Tried opening up the pool here. Wasn't too successful. Let me move over here. Wasn't too successful. Dropped the vacuum cleaner, head inside the pool. Cold. And let me straighten myself out here a little bit too. There we go. I don't know if I did anything, but anyway. And sitting here thinking about, what to do for a video down here, and it occurred to me that I didn't explain too well how this all started with me. Maybe even my other intros into the VC realm here. This game room came about when I had 3 young sons, and I gave them a space to play. They used to come down here with their Legos, and at one time I had my stereo and my TV down here, and I would watch TV. But as they got older, they wanted to be with their friends down here. They didn't want the old man hanging around, so I sort of let it go. And this was the place, I had my stereo, I had the television, but as time progressed, I didn't use it, didn't frequent down here. And a couple months ago, my grandson came up to me and said, "Pap, what is this?" And he hands me a cassette. And I said, "Oh, it's a cassette. There's music on it." And he says, "Can we play it? Show me how it works." Now you have to realize my grandson's 9 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old. So I go over to my cassette player, my Marantz cassette player. I put it in, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I got a little excited. I thought he might have done something to it, and he didn't. And of course, it was just, I haven't used it now. I bought that cassette player in 1982. So I take it apart, I clean it up and so on. I get it to play. It plays perfectly. Lasts about a month, and the motor goes on it. So I had to find a guy to come and fix it. When he didn't come fix it, I actually took it to him. Fixed it, probably paid as much as I did back in 1982 to get it repaired. And it plays wonderfully. And I sat around and I thought about this. I said, well, geez, the kids are grown and gone. And we really don't use this. So I came down here. I added some different lights. I cleaned it up a little bit, got things out of storage, got rid of things I didn't need. And I'll tell you there's another story and another vinyl thing later about things I threw away that I should have kept. But I took it back. I took back over the game room. My wife calls it my man cave now because I'm down here listening to the stereo that, I forgot about for probably 20 years. And I rediscovered the vinyl. Anything I show you is things that I bought back in the day. I have to get back to what my channel was supposed to be. I called it 2 from the Trunk. All my records were in this big steamer trunk that I showed you before in my previous videos. But now, I got them back here. I got the old IKEA thing that I found out from the vinyl community. That's the thing to have, so I went and got them. And I don't have very many. So whatever you see is original for 99.9% or original. I probably have a couple bootlegs in here somewhere, I'm sure. But I picked 2 from the trunk. Talk about them, tell you as much as I know of what I found out, and we'll go from there. I hope you like the channel. I hope you stick around. Speaking of that, I'd like to give a shout out to Rachel, the music ma'am, who's helped me a lot trying to get some subscribers. She gives me shout outs when she can. Wonderful person. If you subscribe to anyone, subscribe to her channel, Rachel, the music ma'am. I'll try to put a link in the video if I can figure out how to do that. Remember, you're talking to an old man in technology. What I'd like to do is pull out 2 albums that I have, starting off with, that talk about just a little bit, not a long. I have to get enough courage to do these short videos. But the 2 I picked out were the Animals One's called The Animals on Tour. Look at those guys. How young. How young? We're 1964. How young. Oh, I used to have hair too. Maybe I'll pull out a picture. Get back in my hippie days. And I think this one was 1966. Animalism. Both of these are kind of bluesy, type gutsy bluesy. If you ever heard Eric Burdon, what a great voice. And like a lot of teens that came out who were in rock bands during this time, they're part of the British invasion. But they were extremely popular at that time. I kept up with them until I think they became a big band. They had some trumpets and horns and saxophones in their band, and I sort of faded. I think they were really. I like the early Animals, not the ones that come later on. I always like Eric Burdon, and I always watch Eric Burdon on PBS channels. Well, when they do their telethons to raise money for PBS, and he's usually singing some of these. I remember I belonged to a 3-chord band back in the days when I was in high school, and one of the songs we played were from the Animals called Sky Pilot. Sky Pilot, how high can you fly? I never reach the sky. Okay, I feel like I'm in the cosmic realm there. Should have got my hat on. But great albums. If you ever get a chance, please get the early Animals. Couple things about this one. The Animals on Tour. People felt this album was made up of leftover songs that they had when they did the British version of this album. I think this is the first one, correct me if I'm wrong, that you could either get it in mono or stereo. And you got to remember, in those days, stereo wasn't truly stereo. They remixed mono into coming out at different channels to make it sound stereo. The quality wasn't quite there yet, but I think this is one of the first ones. These are still the original guys, John Steele, Eric Burdon, Brian Chandler, Ellen Price, Hilton Valentine. What a great name, Hilton Valentine. Okay, those were the original guys. Brian Chandler, by the way, goes on after he leaves the Animals. He goes on to manage Slade, the group called Slade, and Jimi Hendrix. So there's a little bit of that. The tour album, they weren't on tour. It's not a live album. This is a studio album produced by a guy called Mickey Most. Now, Mickey Most was pretty good. Mickey Most had Lulu, the Arrows, Hot Chocolate, I think the other one was. Who else did he have? Donovan. I'm trying to think of who else. Now, but he was good. But he didn't give them too much creative leeway. He had them do a specific sound, and they had a couple good hits. Bring It On Home to Me. It was the Sam Cooke song, Bring It On Home to Me, and Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood was one of theirs that he was running, but didn't give him a lot of creativity. So Mickey Most. I think this is produced by Mickey Most. Yes, Mickey Most produced on MGM. Now Mickey Most had his own label. I think it was called RAK, R-A-K. Correct me if I'm wrong too. But Mickey Most. Now they leave Mickey Most, and at that time, I think the original Animals were together 2-3 years, somewhere in there. They get another producer, a man by the name of Tom Wilson, and this is one of the ones by Tom Wilson. All Night Long was good. They did Lucille, well, bluesy, gutsy, rock kind. And what's interesting about this now, Oh, Connie Francis. Look at that sleeve. A young Roy Orbison. Huh? Ellie Kazan. I think that's who that is. Lainey Kazan. Lainey Kazan. Look at the back one. Earl Gardner. Johnny Tillotson. Who's the Gentrys. Oh my, that's just on the sleeve. I told you these are all. I got the vinyl is pretty near perfect. And what's interesting on this one, on side one, the song is called "The Other Side of Life," arranged by none other than Frank Zappa. Would you believe that? 1964, Frank Zappa on the Animals. I love these two. They're great albums. Play them a little bit. You end up finding yourself tapping your toe a little bit and saying, geez, I really like them. But that's the two that I have for you today. Like I said, if you like it, give me a like, a thumbs up. I like likes and thumbs up. Subscribe. I don't know where this channel is going yet, you know. I plan on entering a contest here with another video pretty soon if I can figure out how I can do it. So, 2 from the trunk, little exploration of the Animals. Give it a shot, and you could probably find them. I don't think they're that expensive. Heck, they're probably in a dollar bin somewhere if you hunt far enough. But this is Tony P. signing off from 2 from the trunk. Peace, love, rock and roll. Carry on.